Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification casts this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 versus 1 on Meeting of Minds. Playing around side as the Space Marines, we've got Vasa Ogrin. Playing off the side as the Adeptus Mechanicus Explorators, we've got Myronic. Myronic will be opening up a couple of high pacifists and some dancing Mason Servitors, whereas Vasa Ogrin is going to go for a couple of Scout Marines and a Chapel Barracks. Now first, right off the bat, I do want to say, I'm not entirely sure if I'm pronouncing Myronic's name right. I've used a Google translator. So I guess if I'm wrong, you could say that I'm a bit... It's a little bit of a Myronic situation. Haha. A little bit of banter there. I'm sure that Alanis Morissette wrote a song about this situation. But yeah, it's the Space Marines versus the Adeptus Mechanicus Explorators. The OG boys, they've got all of the flexibility known to man, really, especially when they get into Tier 2 and their Tactical Marines are able to go out and get all their weapons necessary. Not necessarily in the Tier 1s, obviously. I mean, you compare these guys to the Salamanders, who are a lot stronger, but a lot slower. You got the... what should we call them? The Banana Marines, the Imperial Fists. They're also a little bit slower in the grand scheme of things, but when the morale breaks, you know, they're a lot stronger. So yeah, these guys are just as vanilla as humanly possible, whereas the Adeptus Mechanicus Explorators, now, these guys can come out with a lot of mischief. Their high pacifists have a whole bunch of upgrades that they can go for, all accessible within Tier 2, but right off the bat, they have access to grenade launchers and flamers. And what else are going to go for? A Mechanicus Explorator. She's able to come out and pop down a transfer turret somewhere. It's always a bit of a pain for Tier 1 to deal with whatever faction you're going for. I mean, don't get me wrong, like Force Commander can go over, tank the damage, and then the Space Marines can take it down with the combined arms of close combat and their bolts of fire. It's not something that you really want to deal with. They also can bring out the... they're going to bring out some maintenance servitors as well. But they've... Oh, what's it called? The Robot Chicken. The Warrior of the Omnissiah, that's what it's called. And that is always a pain to deal with in Tier 1, especially if the mainstay of your infantry is heavy infantry, as it comes out and just basically kills them. Heavy infantry tends to be a lot more expensive than the light infantry, so got to be very careful with how things go about. I imagine the Space Marines will play a bit more of a defensive kind of game for the first half of this, as everyone captures as their nearest and dearest, or the fairest and farthest, however one would like to say. We have plenty of strategic points on this map, so good economies for both teams from the opening. Space Marines will be playing aggressive, so never mind my comment about the defensive nature. They're going to come straight on in and completely blindside my casting capabilities. Relic is about to be finished. The Mechanicus Explorator is able to build stuff. That is the one feature that the Adeptus Mechanicus has. Only able to have access to 2 maintenance servitors, which builds things. Then again, in reality, the AdMech don't really build up much things. The only thing that can really build is these NFT searchers, which will always be a funny joke. I know that NFTs are no longer relevant, but you know, I'm an old soul. What was funny 2 years ago, it's still funny to me now. Yeah, Space Marines decided not to go in too far now that they've seen one grenade launcher on both of these squads. Do like how, I completely forgot what it's called, Myonic? Dear idea. I double checked how to pronounce this at the beginning of the game and I've already forgotten. It's the curse of having a low attention span. But yeah, I do like how he's gone for just one grenade launcher on each squad. That will allow him to upgrade to other weapons as the game goes on. Force Commander deciding to come over onto the northern side. Maintenance Servitors not taking no for an answer before, then taking no for an answer. And that Warrior of the Omnissiah coming out, able to stride on forward. And it's actually quite good because, I mean, obviously when the Wi-Fi goes down, he loses his ability to do anything really, which is the counter for him being super strong. But then you've also got that Mechanicus Explorator that can come over and rejig the Wi-Fi, so we'll be able to keep him on the go. He's just going to completely ignore everything here, forcing the Space Marines to potentially fall back, allowing the high pacifists to take the centre of the board. Servitors are going to be the main target for the Warrior of the Omnissiah. I quite like that. He doesn't have the power to bash the buildings down too quickly, but seeing these plasma generators not yet being finished, killing the maintenance servitors, well, actually these are just called regular servitors, and will delay it quite substantially. So there we go. And I mean, how expensive are servitors? 75 blue, not cheap. That's what, a Space Marine and a half. But almost losing the Wi-Fi does use his ability to cut down the maximum amount he can have to regain it all, so he will be running away. But one Skull Probe checking him out for them being taken down. Wonder what the purpose was that, just to keep on top of him to see where he's going. He's going to stand around for a bit, but even standing about makes him lose the Wi-Fi. So he'll be falling back. And, yeah, Look at that. So now he's unable to really do anything. It'll be a long walk home, but there's no aggression going on at the moment, so he should be fine. What's going on at the moment? Not having too much tier 2 on the way for my ironic current economy is 98 and 20 compared to 84 and 24. So all things relatively even, Stevens. And that's quite a lot of money for my ironic here. But I suppose he's got all the places that he needs to. Might go for a slag deposit or so, since he does have the majority of the space in the middle. Space Marines thinking about pushing out. I assume you probably want to wait for your tier 2 as well. I'm going to go for a 4th plasma turret, or plasma generator, sorry. Unupgraded listing posts. That caused him a bit of an issue as the Warrior of the Omnicide comes in for a second pass. The one weakness about reducing his Wi-Fi down to half is that every time he comes out, basically by the time he starts attacking, it's time for him to go back home to get some refills. So maybe it's going to be a case where it's just going to be a glorified turret. Space Marines now moving en masse, got the advantage of that heavy cover, reducing the incoming range damage by 50%. My pass pistol has got the range of those grenade launchers and can now start accessing those plasma guns, melter guns, and hell guns, depending on really what the Space Marines throw at them. STC Searcher being upgraded with... Are you going for the research one on this outscating one? You would normally see, so the way that the Adeptus Mechanicus work is that they've got these STC Searchers, which, you know, acts as like a standard plumbing strategic point, getting them the requisition money coming in. As you can see here, this one's been upgraded with the combat-orientated upgrades, so anyone comes near them, they get zapped. Whereas this one's been upgraded with the research one, so... like, you know, you would normally have the research ones, like, on these back ones. It's nice and safe. Yeah, yeah, he's getting a research center for these guys. But then this one would have the big zapper on it. The zapper does do a lot of damage. But it's even getting this one... Oh, dare you get their value level yellow. That was hard to read. Interesting. Shiver my timbers. But hey ho. There's probably a reason for it. There's probably a reason. Currently, Space Marine's not really too taken into going in too far. They are going to go for their tier 2 now. Going to get their upgrades as well. Yeah, I don't think they're feeling all that confident in getting involved. Now the Warrior... well, now the Admech has got 2 machine reliquaries, so not only can they build stuff from 1, they can now build from 2 production streams. Also, this gives them more blue money as well. Space Marines, yeah, they're just thinking, right, the Adeptus Mechanicus are built up for some badness. We're going to fast forward just a little bit, because I know there's been a bit of a downturn, but the snipers are now engaging with the sniper rifles. Should do quite a lot of damage against the high pass pists. Warrior of the Omnicide now equips it with a auto cannon. Force command up, plasma pistol as well. But yeah, the high pass pist now getting a few. They've got a long las rifle and a plasma gun on 1 unit, so what are you just equipping yourself with every different kind of weapon possible, just so whatever the Space Marines throw at you, you can kind of deal with it a little bit. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I like the idea of the 1 grenade launcher and then maybe 2 of one other weapon, but getting 1 of each, really, that's, I don't know, there's a lack of specialism there. Advanced plasma caught on the north and on the south as well, so the Admech thinking, right, okay, well, if you're not going to pressure me, I'm just going to get as much economy as humanly possible. Got machine cult on the way. We'll continue the fast forwarding nonsense as the... What are you? You are the assault high pass pists. Moving a little bit forward. Force commander thinking about going forward, but not quite. Huge explosion from the Archmagos. He's able to basically bring out the booms. Taking out 1, 2, 3 scouts. 1 armed with a sniper rifle as well, which are not cheap upgrades. 40 blue and 20 green. I suppose, I mean, from the Admech's perspective, they've got more money than God, so it's not too expensive for them. But the Space Marines are falling foul of some economy. They are starting to upgrade their bits and bobs. Now going for a Rhino. Okay. That's interesting. From the machine pet, I assumed you would be going for something a bit more damage dealing, considering that the high pass pists don't have any anti-vehicle stuff. Chopper's been finished for the health regen. Yeah, it's been a very calm game so far. Just a bit of poking and prodding here and there. No one really wanted to commit to any large engagements. Both factions, after all, do shine a lot more in the tier 2s. And if you fall behind in the early stages of the game, that just basically highlights the opponent's kind of strengths, I guess. If that sentence made any sense. But double Space Marine into a Rhino, that's always a good strategy. Taylor's old as time, you can't really go wrong with it. They come in, they focus on one target at a time, and when things get a bit too leery for them, they then fall back. They've now spotted this advanced plasma corps. Conscious have been brought down by the Magus Sport, who's now got a Electro Priest in their ranks. The Scout's not really holding up too well against all this fire and the explosions from the Archmagos. The maintenance servitors will be taken down. Space Marines definitely, yeah. You never want to see an opponent with a Farewell Plasma Generator or the Advanced Plasma Core, whatever variant or name they have for their big green money-making device. Assault, High Pacifist, going a little bit stealthy. There's a reposition away from the Razorback Macarius. And a whole bunch of firepower. And yeah, I mean, why go down here with all the heavy cover and the trench turret when there's all this undefended stuff? Warrior of the Omniscient now no longer able to really cause these guys any issues. There's plenty of heavy bolter weapons inside them. It's interesting, although I suppose the High Pacifists are regular infantry. A huge problem for them. Servitor on the front lines getting some repairs in, but very low on health at the moment. Has to be quite careful. This is what I mean. They've got no... I mean, yeah, they've got all the weapons to diversify themselves to take on any kind of infantry, but they'll struggle against this Rhino. Got the Hellstalker coming forward to slap down the Razorback Macarius, but there are now two servitors preparing it. The trench turret has been upgraded with some las guns, or las cannons even. That bad boy's been taken down. Space Marines losing the morale. The second Rhino coming in. Sergeant inspiring the men as the Hellstalker is coming in with an Inferno cannon. In fact, the second Hellstalker as well in a good surround after loads of silence and relaxation. It's a huge engagement now. Horseman attempting to run forward with his Thunder Hammer just to smack down a couple of high pacifists and prevent them from firing, but decides against it as everyone starts falling back. Several Space Marines having brought down, full reinforcement going on for both squads, I imagine. I know one squad's relatively healthy at the moment. We'll fall back to the protection of the turret with the missile launchers. Force Commander and the Chaplain unable to really get away from this. He's been constantly knocked around by the grenade launchers. Holding that line as the Space Marines reposition themselves. Hellstalker been taken down by a missile. And that, although these guys can get back up, there's a bit of a pain. Yep, just managed to regain himself. Not sure what the standing up percentage chance is on these Hellstalkers, but always frustrating. Mind you, don't come out with much health, so is taken down. The Wi-Fi on these guys, well, it's pretty substantial. They don't usually seem to lose it very long. The Inferno cannon's able to burn the Space Marines AoE damage as well as morale damage. The morale on the Space Marines is quite substantial. You can always regain it with the Sergeant. And I'm going to say, what on earth are you, a Borilla? Never seen one of those before. Are you just basically a... Oh, you are a Rhino with a flamer. You can upgrade it with another... Oh, right, okay, right. Well, I've never known that before. Oh, broken morale of the Assault High Pacifists. I'll now turn his attention to the other lads. This guy, unfortunately, being fired at by the trench turret. But has given the Space Marines some space to move their infantry forward. They also got some Vanguard veterans, so some jumping lads to make some advances in. But we still have the thermal plasma generators on the go for the high path, well, the Adeptus Mechanicus. And these Barillas. Just, they're both dead now, but giving those Space Marines plenty of time to reconvene themselves. Oh, we've now got some Aestos drones. Is that what you're called? You are called Aetos. Well, however one pronounces that. That makes me think of like a Greek kind of word. Maybe if any Greek watchers might be able to expand on that and tell me how to pronounce that. But one lonely sniper holding the southern flank. They definitely need some lads over, some melter guns maybe. No, Space Marines only have access to missile launchers. The orbital relay being finished up. Nothing. Oh, you are going to see another Gorilla, which cannot seem to fire upwards. Bit of a pain for it. It's at least absorbing the fire. I'd imagine that these guys probably would want to focus on the listing post itself. One skull probe on its way out. My pacifists now moving to the southern side. They know all the Space Marines up north, so may as well start reconvening down here. Got some smoke being thrown down for defensive reasons. Turret going to be finished up by this incoming service, or if it's able to get over there. Vanguard veterans jumping on right in the middle. As more Space Marines attempt to provide some supporting fire. Actually, it looks like the Barillas are going to focus on this stuff over here. No, you can fire upwards now. Well, what was the problem earlier on? Wait, upgrade with something else. I don't know. Either way, things are happening. Fire's happening. The Vanguard veterans still quite fragile in the grand scheme of things when you compare them to your regular assault squads. All jetpack troopers do tend to not want to be focus fired down, though at least giving these Space Marines, oh, and the Terminators as well, a chance to move forward. This also prevents these guys from standing in the heavy cover as well. Tranche turret has been taken aback. And the Des Mechanicus, you've got plenty of money. What else are you going to buy? Going to go for some bioplastic cards, more assault high pacifists, double Hellstalkers. You're also going to go for tier 4 as well. So you're primed and ready to get out the big Titanic units. Just need to hold the line, really. Which I can see why he's gone for a very lackadaisical approach to his unit composition here. Keeping it low and slow so you can buy the big things later on. Always a risky strategy. But then again, it does allow us to potentially see some cool units. I'll never say no to the potential for that. See what I mean, though? Like, this SDC Searcher doing the God Emperor, or should I say the Omnissire's work here. Incredible amounts of damage. It would have been nice to see this one also upgraded with the big zap as well. Space Marines just gradually moving forward step by step. Got Hellstalk from the ground. Even though there's no real... I mean, we've got a couple of missile launchers, but even though there's no, like, dedicated anti-vehicle unit, it's still going down relatively okayly. But it is in melee combat now, and while units are in melee, it does give them a slight resistance to ranged incoming damage. That's why it's always good to, if you plan to focus fire something down, it is engaging one of your units into close combat, always good to pull it back, just to prevent it from getting that ranged defense boost. Second one comes in. Maybe this is the plan, just to hold them off with constant spiders. Nothing major coming through as of yet. Have the money. Could spend it now, although maybe they're probably struggling with the squad caps and stuff. But even if you are squad caps, you are still able to build stuff. There we go, going to go for a Cataphract robot and a Lehman Russ King pattern. So maybe not the huge things then, but the Lehman Russ King patterns are stupidly good tanks. Especially when they get their upgrades, when they get that giant jawbreaker dome around them. Massively reduces the incoming range damage, which I feel is a theme for this game. I feel like I've said that several times by now. Archmagos with his powerful melter pistol. I don't think the guy's staying on one tank, but the SDC Searcher has been killed. Spaceman has just been stalwart, not bringing out anything fancy. They're just keeping it nice and simple. Come forward. Yeah, the first time I've seen this Barillas, but it seems to be doing a really good job of dealing with all this infantry. Russ King passing, about to finish. And here he is, in all his glory. Struggling to decide on what target to go for, but he shoots him and seems to have knocked that Barilla around a little bit. Quite a fast firing rate as well. The Des Mechanicus has been pushed back. We've now got double Predators from Vasa Ogrin. A good chunky amount of Terminators. And for the assault cannons, assault high pacifists just chilling out, being stealth on the southern sides, but Space Marines seem to be quite okay with just ignoring them. They are armed with melter guns, so not exactly the best weapon to go up against heavy infantry with. They have been spotted. We'll fire at them. They assume you have a skull probe or something. That's just been exploded there. But look at that, double Predators. Not quite taken down the one Lehman Russ King pattern. And he's still standing firm. Has not been repaired neither. But deep striking in some assault terminators. That's going to force this guy to be on the move. Also turning away. Does not seem like his turret is able to turn backwards neither. Not exactly the most mobile of the Lehman Russes. But charging on forward. Has been exploded. And the Megas Explorer with double Electro Priests. Yeah, I think you are close. Yeah, you are close combat orientated. Not going to help in a ranged fight. And, well, that was unexpected. I did not expect to... Oh, there was stuff going on. There was mischief. Maybe I missed something. I'll have to double check on the replay and see if I missed anything substantial there. But, yeah, no, so apparently I was assuming that the Space Marines would come on in and gradually wear and tear these guys down, but after losing double of their Predators, seeing that these double Lehman Russ King patterns were online, they knew that they were on a high tech, they knew that the economy was going to be quite substantial, so fighting against them in the long term might have been difficult, but I think that Vasa could have probably held on a little bit longer. He wasn't really suffering too much in the grand scheme of things, but hey-ho, that's the way the game goes. So cheers, boys and girls, for watching at home, and if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week, and there's also Discord where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. I've been Mr. Landshark, pleasure as always, never short, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace.